My name's Mike. I'm here with Removery, the world's tattoo removal experts. We are here talking about tattoos and removal, trying to normalize this, and we are with Chef Aaron Elliott.
Hey, Mike.
I just want a little background here. Obviously, you've got a bunch of visible tattoos, but you grew up in Pennsylvania. Where did this all start? Did you have jobs before you became a chef?
Yes, I grew up in a restaurant. My parents had an Italian restaurant in Pittsburgh. They opened that when I was 9 years old. I started working there when I was 12, and I liked making money and buying my own clothes and buying my own haircuts. I was a drummer, and I wanted nothing to do with the restaurant.
What were the early inspirations for you?
Operation Ivy.
Without a doubt.
The first show I ever played, I was 13 with my band AWOL, which was a politically pissed 13-year-old group of guys. This was 1999. That first show that we played 4 Operation Ivy covers and 1 original.
So this wasn't necessarily an original band. This was...
It became an original band.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah, heavily influenced by Operation Ivy.
All right. At this point, drumming is life.
Yep.
Like, did we get a chance to go on tour?
Yes, I went on tour from the ages 18, like 1 week out of high school, till 24. Like full-time touring musician, touring around mostly the East Coast, playing in front of mostly about 13 to 14 people, and $5 a day.
Back in the day, there was dollar menus.
Dollar menu.
Is that kind of what the band lived off of?
That is what the band lived off of, except for me.
You went the complete opposite way.
Yeah.
Before there was something called meal prep.
Yeah.
You were meal prepping.
I was. It was, every meal was like a drive-through meal, and there were times when I would get a salad or like a baked potato, like Wendy's had like a baked potato. But for the most part, I brought a rice cooker on tour. As soon as we would get in, after setup, I would fire up the rice cooker and get a pot of lentils going. At this point, I was out of high school, so we're talking like 2004.
You're the weird kid on tour.
Oh, the weirdest.
But you knew that you wanted to eat good quality food.
Yeah.
That was important to you at that time.
Very important, yeah.
You've also made some dietary choices in your life. When did veganism enter your world?
People playing videos, like old PETA videos on a TV. You know, I saw that and I adopted it and I never went back. I didn't know anybody that was, I mean, in 1999, early 2000s, I didn't know personally anybody that was not eating meat for health or even environmental reasons.
Right. At what point is it clicking to you that like, I like what I'm making and tastes good?
It's just as inexpensive to make this food as to go through the drive-thru, like what everybody else is doing. It tastes way better. I feel way better. So it was just kind of like a win-win.
We're talking now, you're a chef. The band obviously didn't work out.
It did not work out.
It did not work out. Where does that transition happen? When does the band end? What's the next step in life for you?
Yep. So the band that I was playing in was based out of Orange County. And one of the band members was Ryan Wilson. Ryan Wilson had a brother who just so happened to be a professional baseball player. And when we played Texas, he saw what was going on with the rice cooker and knew that I was health conscious. So when the band broke up, he reached out to me to see if I wanted to be his personal chef.
That's a wild stretch.
Very far apart worlds. He was straight edge.
Okay, so you went from rice cooker to being a personal chef to a baseball player.
Yeah, and I was very honest about that. You know, like, I don't know what you saw or what your brother and our friends have told you about like my cooking skills, but they don't go past the rice cooker. Like, that's all I got. Growing up in a restaurant, I wasn't making things from scratch. I was working in the kitchen and I was feeding myself and helping out on the line.
Yeah.
But I wasn't making food from scratch, and I worked mostly front of house because that's where the tips were.
And the restaurant obviously wasn't vegan.
No.
And probably served alcohol.
It did not, but
BYOB.
it was BYOB.
BYOB.
Yeah. Bring your own bottle.
Bring your own bottle. You knew that there was family recipes that were being cooked.
Yeah.
And you kind of had an idea that you could put a couple things together and make it taste good.
Yep.
The goal never seems to be the money for you. It seems to be the quality of life.
Yeah.
And this seemed to be a door that opened up for quality of life change. What were those first couple weeks like?
I learned so much in the first couple weeks. One, he's such a good dude and like so into professional development. And he taught me basically a system that I still use today. In our first conversation about like, do you want to be my chef? Getting 1% better every day and over a span of 15 years.
Okay.
Like that adds up.
How long does this kind of cooking personal development gig work out for?
So I was CJ's chef for 3 baseball seasons.
Okay.
First was he was a Texas Ranger. and then he got traded to the Anaheim Angels, and that's when like I was able to live full time in LA because the baseball season's so back and forth. So I was going to Texas for a couple weeks and then coming back to LA. When he got traded to the Angels is when that's when I really started to get into it. I think this was 2 years in. Just kind of went all in. I was looking at going to culinary school. I got a job at a bakery just because I wanted to learn how to bake.
What's the family say about this? Because they've either got to be really excited or really annoyed.
They're really excited.
Okay.
Yeah. It brought my mom and me so much closer because becoming a chef literally overnight, instead of like going to YouTube, I would just call mom. Literally first day on the job, I get a call from CJ and he's like, hey, I'm having like 12 of the guys over for dinner after the game.
You've got to scale something now that you've never scaled before. Okay.
So not only have I never made lasagna at this point, but I need to make it for 12 people. One of them being like some guy on ESPN. Like that's,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I called mom.
What does it mean to you to be a chef?
That's a great question because it took me many years to be comfortable with being called a chef. I do think the word chef has a strong meaning to it, and you have to be able to do things other than just cook. But at the same time, a lot of my inspirations when it comes to cooking don't consider themselves chefs. I don't think my mom considers herself a chef. Nancy Silverton, like I was watching a video who's like my favorite. She said that nobody's ever said yes chef to her. Okay. And she has like, you know, Mozaplex and La Brea Bakery. It just kind of all depends on where it's coming from.
What was the desire to get formal training?
The desire to get formal training was that I had a formal training as a musician.
Okay.
I took jazz drumming lessons when I had no desire to be a jazz drummer. If you can play jazz music, you can play punk music a lot better.
Yeah.
So having that background as a musician, it just didn't feel right bringing that over to being a chef and cooking. So I was just kind of like, well, let me check out, maybe I'll look into going to culinary school, talk to a lot of people that had been that I looked up to that had been chefs for decades, and 100% of them said, don't go to culinary school, get a job in a kitchen.
Okay, what was the reasoning behind it?
It's a lot of money. You learn all that plus more in a kitchen at working in a restaurant.
Okay. Did you end up going to culinary school?
No.
Okay. We both kind of have a love-hate relationship with Anthony Bourdain. One of the things that he is kind of really well known for in cooking world, not in the travel world, is grab a bag of potatoes, carrots, onions, and learn your knife skills.
Yep.
Is that kind of what you were doing?
I was taught that. Tall Ronan from Crossroads taught me that on like one of the first days I met him. Literally go buy a 25-pound bag of carrots and cut them all. And then I was like, well, what do I do with the cut carrots? It's like, I don't know, juice them. Like, good idea.
At what point are you no longer prepping and you're starting to create concepts for food?
That was never really the case because of like being a private chef isn't like being a prep cook.
Right.
Because you are like producing the dish start to finish, something that you've come up with.
Yeah.
So there is no saucier. Like you're the prep cook, you're the saucier.
You've done a few internships at this point. Not all of them have been in the US based on some of the research I've done. I can't imagine that it is an easy thing to just pack up and go. What's that experience like for you?
I did a 13-week internship in Copenhagen at Noma. And I bring this up because Noma recently has gotten a lot of backlash for having all the interns because pretty much the restaurant can't exist with the interns. So they kind of see it as like free labor, taking advantage of that. And the reason why I bring this up is because at the time I was there, the restaurant was 25 paid chefs and 25 interns. All 25 interns were living their dream.
Okay.
So there's no, like, from the way that I see it, all those people on the internet that are saying how bad it is can go fuck off. I was so lucky to be able to get that experience.
It sounds like if you just replaced internship and restaurant with anything else, you're going to go spend 13 weeks with the Dodgers and you're going to hit balls with them. You're going to go 13 weeks as a guitar tech on for your favorite band on tour. That's kind of what you're explaining to me now. That's how I'm hearing it.
Exactly.
I have one question I'm dying to ask a professional chef. Why is the plate so big and the food so small?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I don't plate like that.
It's just one of those funny things you kind of have to look at and be like, oh, that was $300 and it's 2 bites.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you applying what you learned?
Yeah. So that's a great question because being in Copenhagen and knowing their philosophy, they only work with ingredients that are locally grown.
Yeah.
So most of the things that I was working with there when I came back here, they don't exist.
They don't exist.
I did not come home with like recipe books full of recipes that I was going to try out on my jobs here. That wasn't that at all. So what I got out of that was the inspiration to come home and start going to farms, going to farmers markets, and really working with what's available to you at a specific time.
Do you find yourself advocating for the farmers at the farmers market because you're so excited about the produce?
So excited.
I think every kid has some favorite meal that they figured out how to make for themselves early on, whether it was, mac and cheese out of a box or your first PB&J, and they have this nostalgic flavor to them. But over time, you realize, oh, there's 5,000 different kinds of cheeses that I can start making mac and cheese with. What is like one of your go-to, I miss this from my childhood meals that just brings you right back home?
Pierogies.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you grow up on pierogies?
I definitely grew up on pierogies. Every different way you could make them.
Yeah.
They were fried, they were boiled, they were buttered.
Yeah, we're a boiled pierogi family.
Okay.
What about you?
So we were boiled and then pan fried.
Okay.
But only a little bit. So they had to be soft in the middle, soft on the edges, but that one hard piece on the top side.
That's how we do them now.
Oh, I love that.
That is the most nostalgic, like, comfort food to me. So my mom is half Ukraine.
Okay, that makes sense.
So Christmas, we did pierogies.
Yeah.
And still to this day, my mom makes pierogies. And for meal ticket, once a year, mom's pierogies are on the menu. And it's usually around like the last week of December.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and she'll come and make them with us. And it only happens once a year, so.
As you're cooking, your personal style comes through. But personally, chefs are typically in the kitchen. They're not necessarily out in the forefront.
Yep.
You've had some opportunities to be in the press for a bunch of different reasons, again, through internships and through kind of your own accolades. How do you present yourself forward-facing?
I just want to be as honest as possible. I want to talk about things that I love and things that inspire me. And yeah, just trying to come off as honest as possible, whether somebody's asking me about what I like to eat or a morning routine.
I know your uniform is black Vans, t-shirt,
Yeah.
usually denim or khakis.
Yeah.
You've also done a bunch of other accessories. You've gotten tattooed throughout the years. Is this also going back to the old Op Ivy days and punk rock? And what was the start with this?
The start was going to shows, seeing people with sleeves and saying, I want sleeves.
Yeah.
What am I getting?
Is there anybody in your family that you saw as a child that had tattoos? Do you remember the first time you saw somebody with tattoos?
My dad had like an eagle on his arm.
Very traditional.
He had my mom's name tattooed in
That's
script.
adorable.
But before punk, I didn't have a love for tattoos.
So music's been a gateway for a lot of things for you. Travel ended up changing your career path, and then obviously some of your personal style. What was your first tattoo?
First tattoo, I was 15 or maybe 16, and there were music notes on the backs of my arms that my mom took me to get because I was underage.
And she was cool with it, obviously.
She was cool with it, obviously, because she knew I was going to be a professional, famous drummer.
How did that work out, Mom?
I'm not even kidding. I remember her telling my aunts, her sisters, I'm taking him to get tattoos because he's going to be a drummer. He's going to be a famous drummer.
I love that. What was the experience like getting tattooed at 15? Because I imagine you're the first kid in high school.
My first tattoo was music notes behind my arms that my mom took me to get. My second tattoo was 3 X's in my lip at Hellfest that I used a fake ID.
That is aggressive.
In a trailer to get.
And for those wondering, 3 X's is a representation for straight edge. It's not the other thing that we don't talk about. We don't drink, do drugs, or smoke cigarettes, and the reference to the X is in bars back in the heyday. Back in the day, bars would let anybody of any age in, and the way that they would distinguish to the bartenders is they would draw an X on the hands of those who are under 21. And the straight edge kids decided, we're going to just roll with this and take it over as ours. So that's where the X history comes from.
Yep.
I've got a bunch of them tattooed on me as well.
Yep.
So this was kind of the opening of the gates. Nobody else really in your family. Dad's got a couple small tattoos, but you're like, I need sleeves.
I need sleeves.
I need sleeves.
Yep.
So this is pretty aggressive, pretty quick.
Yeah. My first tattoo was 15, maybe 16. And I think I had a full sleeve at 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's covered up now. Go figure. All my musician idols were fully tattooed, saying I got tattooed to prevent myself from getting a real job because this is what I knew I was going to do.
Being a chef is also kind of it's a real job, but it's also kind of a rebel job.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, everybody's tattooed.
And you play with knives.
And you play with knives.
You started going pretty visible with this. Like, you've got your hands, knuckles, throat, neck. Obviously, there's no concern because you're working for yourself at this point. Is there any concern as a private chef that some of your clients might be a little turned off by this?
No.
Do you think some of that has to do with the LA subculture?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I give the vibe that I'm like
a hooligan.
Hooligan. So I think this would fly even in Iowa.
We know the first tattoo story What's the favorite tattoo story?
My favorite tattoo story is my most recent one that I'm getting. It's a leg sleeve that I'm getting in Japan,
Oh, amazing.
Tabori style,
Yes.
from Horimomo.
No.
And it's just the epitome of like Japanese culture. He picks you up at the train station. He takes you to his private tattoo studio, and you're getting a Tabori style tattoo. It's just like, it doesn't get any more Japanese than that as far as like craftsmanship. And
These are the tattoos where the experience is why you're doing it. The outcome happens to be a bonus.
most people say, because it's a sleeve, so it's probably, and it's Tabori, so it's probably going to be like 8 to 10 sessions.
Mhm.
Most people's reaction is, you have to go back to Japan 8 times for this? And I'm like, I get to go back to Japan
Yeah.
8 times for this.
I love Japan, so I'm super envious
Yeah.
of that. Your style, you have Japanese, you have American traditional, you've got some hodgepodge cover-ups going on. Overall, an arching theme to your bodysuit?
No, I wish I would have figured this method out when I first started, but my theme is to find an artist that I love and let them do their thing
Yeah.
in the placement that I want it,
Okay.
rather than go to a tattoo artist with my idea. And which, I mean, some people love doing that,
Yeah.
but if I had done that from the start, I probably wouldn't have so many cover-ups.
Speaking of cover-ups, you're running out of room.
Yeah.
You've got the face, you've got the back of your head to do, maybe the palms at some point.
Back. I have the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're literally running out of room. Earlier this year, you started making room for some new tattoos. Why not just do a cover-up?
Because it's on my neck.
Okay.
So I was kind of under the impression that if I don't like what's on my neck now, if I get it covered up, it might just add to what I don't like about what I have now. So
Are you happy with the cover-ups you have now?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
So you kind of knew
Yeah.
both sides of this. Like, I can get a successful cover-up, or
Yes, if I would have known the process of laser before I got cover-ups, I think I would have hit it with a couple laser sessions before I cover-ups, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just because the outcome's better. But for the most part, yeah.
So earlier this year, you started treatments. You've had a few of them.
Yep, 3.
I think 3 so
Yep.
far. We've got a lot of fading on your neck so far.
Good, thank you.
What's the experience been like?
It's been a great experience. I was so nervous going into my first session and knowing that I probably needed 5 or 6 for it to be faded enough to go over it. I remember thinking on my way to Removery, I hope eventually this just feels like I'm driving to another appointment, not like this is the most, I've never been more stressed about anything in my life. And I'm at that point now on session 3.
For the 4 minutes of laser.
Yeah, for 4 minutes of laser.
I love that. So your personal choice is always to find the best of what you can. And I've experienced this at the farmer's market, been fortunate enough to have some of your food. You're obviously choosing some things in your personal life. And I want to circle back to Meal Ticket. You mentioned it very briefly. What's Meal Ticket?
Meal Ticket is a meal delivery service that I started at the very beginning of 2024. The last few years, the dream has really been to open a restaurant. And just with the state of Los Angeles and the state of restaurants, and it just doesn't seem like that's a very like smart path to take right now. I started Meal Ticket kind of as a placeholder until things kind of change, and it just totally fell in love with it. So to the point now where I don't even know if I want to open a restaurant. I think I just might want to continue the meal delivery service and see where it takes us.
Are the majority of your clients plant-based full-time, or they just enjoy your food that happens to be plant-based?
I would say it's probably about 60-40.
Okay.
Yeah, 60-40. 60% being plant-based, 40 wanting to try it.
Awesome. One of the biggest things that I think turns people off from vegan food is that a lot of people assume it's trying to be something else. Let me make something that tastes like a burger.
Yep.
Let me make something that tastes like this
Yep.
or tastes like that. You did a pop-up a while ago up Beyond the Streets, and I had the artichoke. What's the official name of it?
Crispy artichoke sandwich.
Crispy artichoke sandwich.
Yeah.
It's not trying to be anything other than what the title tells it to be.
Yeah.
So the artichoke stands out. It's not trying to be a burger. It's not trying to be anything else, but it is unbelievably amazing.
Thanks.
Do you find that food that is not trying to have impersonator syndrome is ones that is the most successful for the people that are choosing to get Meal Ticket?
Absolutely. It's also the way that I want to eat. It's the way that I want to cook, and it's also the way that I want to eat. I think starting out as a vegan, you only want replacements of what you're used to and what you know. But I've just became so obsessed with eating vegetables and seeing where that can take me. That's what I'm into.
I also feel that one of the other kind of stereotypes around being vegan is that it's carb heavy. It's pasta, it's French fries, it's mashed potatoes, it's a lot of pizza with no cheese, or now that there's great vegan cheese options.
Yeah.
What is kind of like your thought process around like the way that you're building food out?
Yes, they are pretty right that it is pretty carb heavy, but I do try, whenever I make something, I always try and make the healthiest version of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What are some of like the thought processes around like building out meals for Meal Ticket, where they're not just simple spaghetti and sauce, or they're not just macaroni and cheese, where there's a little more intention behind them, but also it's a relatable flavor?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not to sound cliche, but my favorite thing about cooking is going to a market with no plan and figuring things out while I'm shopping. That's why I always hit the Wednesday farmers market right before the menu goes out, because I'm making last minute changes and getting inspiration from being there.
A lot of people will see an ingredient, a
Yeah.
raw ingredient, corn on the cob,
Yeah.
and they're like, that's my favorite thing to eat in the summer.
Mm.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago. When you see corn on the cob, what do you see?
Yeah, I see so many different things that you can do with corn. I typically shave off the kernels and then take the empty cob and boil it in water for 2 to 3 hours with salt, and you have the most amazing corn stalk ever. And
All right, hold on.
yeah.
What do we do with corn stalks?
So I'm glad you asked, Mike. So cornstalk becomes the base of polenta or corn chowder. So you can also cook it with the raw corn to make cream corn. And when you cook this to make polenta, you're getting 4 different versions of corn all folded into the polenta, and it tastes like the sweetest thing you've ever had, and the only ingredients are corn, water, and salt. And it's just truly amazing.
Where did that thought process come from?
I got that. So I learned most of that from Rustic Canyon, but there's also things that when I interned at Noma, they would peel peas and then they would take the skin and they would juice it, and then you would cook the peas in the pea juice.
This is labor intensive.
It's so labor intensive.
Is this why really good food is expensive?
Yes.
Okay.
But it's also why for Meal Ticket, when peas are on the menu, not only do I peel the skin off and juice them and cook them in the pea juice, we also peel each individually. We also peel each individual pea of the skin, because the texture of a peeled pea is so much better than an unpeeled pea. So it's just like, once you have that, it's hard to go back.
Okay. It's like flying first class.
It's like flying first class.
Once you get that lay flat seat, just economy doesn't do it for you anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
We are in Southern California. We have access to just amazing farms. And even with droughts, there's great food. Also, with Mexico being so close, there's a lot of stuff coming up. A lot of grains, a lot of legumes coming out of Mexico as well. Do you feel fortunate that we have access to cyclical food and we're not just kind of like in a food desert?
The most fortunate.
Yeah.
I think that's why I think that Los Angeles is the best food city in the country, and that's why. I feel like that's why Los Angeles food is better than New York's food.
I gotta break your stones a little bit. That's a really big claim from a East Coast boy in an Italian restaurant. What are your thoughts on Los Angeles pizza? No shade to any of his friends.
No, I'm a fan.
Okay.
There's enough amazing pizza places here that you have to put it on the map as some of the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you feel the same way about Los Angeles bagels?
So I'm not a bagel guy.
Yeah.
But the Courage Bagel, have you had Courage Bagels?
I haven't.
They're Montreal bagels.
Okay.
You should try it. I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think.
For me, like...
But you're a New York bagel guy.
I'm like a Russ and Daughters or like a Jersey like water bagel kind of guy. Water boil bagel.
These are water boiled.
Okay.
Right?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll
Maybe.
find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Food trips. In the grand scheme of things, what inspires you the most in personal choices in life, in getting tattoos, in creating food for people? Where's this inspiration really coming from?
I think travel. I think traveling a lot at a young age and continuing to do so now. I think seeing how other people live in other parts of the world is kind of, where I get my most influence and inspiration out of.
That ties back to our earlier conversation a few weeks ago about Anthony Bourdain, where we were both profoundly impacted by his book and some of his travel videos.
Yeah.
I vividly remember him in a paraphrase of, I just want to be in a country where I'm sitting on a stool that's too small for me, eating something spicy out of a bowl.
I've been to that country and sat on that stool.
I've been to a similar country.
Yeah.
You're
talking about Vietnam, right?
Yeah, I was in Thailand and Cambodia.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a wild experience with scooters going by and stuff like that. Because you do a delivery service and it is very unique and you work with a very tight team, you don't often get the gratitude of seeing somebody clean their plate. How do you get gratitude and how do you kind of receive that in your profession now?
Oh, that's a really good question. I mean, I think the biggest compliment that we can, like, that meal ticket can get is for someone to order for the first time, and then on Wednesday when the next menu goes out and they're the first person to sign up. I mean, there's nothing better than that.
That's amazing.
And it's, I'm not getting, like, other than my friends who will text me when they like something, or I don't get that a lot from.
You don't have the feedback loop that a restaurant does.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I think just ordering, and meal ticket is not cheap. It's expensive. We are peeling peas. Like, we're peeling peas 3 times.
Yeah.
So we're buying the best produce that we can. So it does become an expensive product, and I don't take that for granted. So when somebody does order for a second time, yeah, that's as good as it gets.
We've known for a long time that food is an investment. It's taken 25 years or so of fitness influencers and true physical trainers to say, if you want to get kind of yoked, you've got to start in the kitchen. So I think people are ingrained now, and I think the early 2000s organic movement got people a little more comfortable with spending money on something they were consuming.
Yep.
We already do it with hair care products and skin care products. We're constantly trying to get the best of anything, whether it's the best job promotion or the best car we can afford or the best night out with our friends. We're willing to pay a little bit more to maybe get that VIP table. So I think investing in the food that we eat on a daily basis. How would you talk to somebody who is in that kind of weird spot where they really want to treat themselves, but they're not comfortable like spending it on food?
I do love to break down where that number that we're charging comes from.
Sure.
Because good produce isn't cheap, good employment isn't cheap. So, I do think that when you see how many different vegetables are in one dish of food, I think that is pretty eye-opening to people. Yeah. And when you do really break it down. So yeah, I encourage anybody to go to the farmer's market and see what good ingredients cost.
You're literally buying it next to them.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What do you think the future holds?
For meal ticket?
For meal ticket, for you, for veganism, for plant-based food and acceptance?
Yeah, I do. I think that veganism is at a decline right now. We saw like a huge spike after a lot of the documentaries and stuff. I do think with the rise of unqualified influencers, I think that veganism is on a bit of a decline, and I think it'll probably stay like that for a few more years. And eventually, everything's gonna get worked out, and I think that people are gonna realize that that is a very healthy lifestyle if done right.
Yeah. Also, it's worth noting that you're saving an animal's life. So go to a farm sanctuary, go to an animal sanctuary in general, and spend some time with animals and understand kind of where they're going and what their life is like, I think, ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because that's where a lot of this really comes from. There is a lot of unhealthy vegan food. It's not a health food like most people assume it is.
Absolutely.
There's a way to make things healthy.
Yeah.
There's famous quotes everywhere that say the best way to make something taste better is add more salt, add more fat. Like, that's usually what we're doing, and that's not the healthiest thing to do.
Yeah.
For your personal development, you've got a leg sleeving process. Do you have plans for your neck to get covered yet?
I do have plans. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I know that Tim Hendricks is going to do it.
Love it. Are we doing like some gray wash? Some black and gray work?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm covering up my neck is because it's blue.
Okay.
I had a blue tattoo on my neck. And
you went through a blue phase?
I didn't necessarily go through a blue phase, but that's what ended up on my neck.
Okay.
I'm definitely more black and gray.
All right.
Yeah, these days.
I want to kind of break this down. When you got tattooed, specifically that bird on your neck, what was the feeling? Not of the tattoo itself. What was the feeling of like having your neck tattooed?
That was my first tattoo visible with a long sleeve shirt on. So that was a lot of, I remember waking up like soaking wet, thinking like, what have I just done? And that lasted for a day.
Okay.
And then it went away.
So you were excited.
I never thought
mostly.
I was so excited.
So excited.
Yeah, so excited. I wanted to have my neck tattooed forever.
What was the catalyst to kind of get it removed other than it was blue? Because it's clearly been on for a number of years.
Yeah. Over a decade for sure. I think Toby telling me how good and easy the process was. Really, shout out to Toby. Really sold me on it. It was something that I had wanted for 5 or 6 years. But my whole thing was, it's on my neck. It's so visible. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
It's gonna take probably 6 months.
About.
It's gonna look so bad for 6 months, and thankfully I haven't gotten to the point where I'm like, this needs to go away immediately. It just looks like the same tattoo that's a little bit more faded.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
It's so much better than what I told myself it was going to be.
What were you telling yourself?
I'm gonna have this like disgusting to look at like blue blob on my neck for the entire process until it's faded enough to get covered.
So just get it faded first.
Yeah, just get it faded first. And it, like, if I would have had if I would have acted on the first thought of like wanting to remove it, it'd be long gone by now.
Yeah, you'd be completely different. Outside of the leg sleeve being finished, and obviously Tim doing your neck,
Yep.
is there any other tattoo plans, or are you kind of...
I think I want to do my head. I think I want to do the rest of the sides and
Okay.
back of my head.
All right. Knowing that tattoo removal is available now, and
Yeah.
obviously it's accessible, it's easy to get in and out, does this kind of make you rethink some of the other tattoos on your body, or are you just like, this is me now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So this might be an ongoing thing for you.
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. I absolutely love it. Last couple questions I want
Yep.
to run through here is I've read some things online that you are a creature of habit and that you stick to a pretty standardized kind of breakfast routine.
Oh yeah.
Knowing that you're a personal chef,
Yep.
what's your breakfast routine?
So I eat Anson Mills oatmeal 365 days a year.
Do you take it with you to Japan?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I bring it camping. I bring it to Japan. I eat it on Christmas.
Yeah.
I'd never miss a day. And if I thought it was nutritionally acceptable, I would eat it 3 times a day. I'm obsessed with it.
I find it interesting. I think a lot of other people will, that you've got the skill and the talent to literally make some of the best
Thank
and
you.
most beautiful food in
Thank
the
you.
world. And oatmeal
Yeah.
is the favorite.
Yeah.
Did this start in your childhood?
This was Tordays.
Yeah.
I used to do it with quinoa, and I was out of quinoa one time and I did it with oats, and it was good, and I thought, oh, this is an acceptable replacement if I'm out of quinoa. And then I had the steel cut oats from Anson Mills, and they changed my life.
We need a sponsorship now. Guys are notorious for having just random crap in their pockets. It's usually car keys, a wallet, sometimes it's a pocket knife or a flashlight, chapstick. You've got something else unique in your pocket most of the times. What's the deal with the cloves?
Cloves. I picked this up from my dad. My dad was a waiter in Vegas in the showroom, and he used to chew on cloves like all throughout the night. And it's kind of a replacement of chewing gum or having a mint in your mouth. And this was way before I became a chef. Now it seems like, oh, he's a chef. Of course, he chews on cloves all day.
You're eccentric.
But this was way before that.
Okay.
And my dad does it. My brother Jake does it. I do it. I've never met anybody else in the world that does it.
So this is literally just an Elliott thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. What was the most memorable meal you've ever had?
The most memorable meal I ever had was after my 13 weeks at Noma. I sat down as a guest and I had lunch there, and it was like 24 courses at the time. And this was before they did the vegetarian summer option, and they just made everything vegan. And I say that it was the most memorable because I had just worked 80 hours a week for 13 weeks. And in that time, I'll tell you a quick story. I remember one of the sous chefs came running into the prep kitchen mid-service because something was like going wrong. And what we found out went wrong was that one of the old interns that was having his meal there, they had fucked something up on his plate, and the sous chef runs in and he's yelling, he's looking for a certain ingredient or whatever. And I remember one of the other sous chefs said, like, chef, it's for Alex. Like, he was with us the last 13 weeks, and he goes, I know it's for Alex, that's why it needs to be perfect. How important every single guest in the restaurant is, whether it's someone from Michelin or whether it's an intern.
So you were literally behind the curtain and they wanted to make sure that you had the best experience possible.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You've toured a lot. You've traveled the world a lot. There's got to be a crazy tattoo story somewhere.
Yeah. I think getting my lip tattooed in a trailer at Hellfest at 16 with a fake ID is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
This is the worst. This is the worst story you're gonna get.
Okay.
2 years ago, I had gotten tattooed by Chris Kahn. It's a wolf right to the side of my knee.
Not a fun place.
Not a fun place. I got it done 4 days before my now wife and me were going to Italy to get married.
Okay. Great timing.
Great timing. And I asked her, I said, is this cool? And she's like, yeah, I don't care. She's like, are you going to be able to like swim if we find like a, and I'm like, yeah, it'll be healed by then. So we are on our flight to Italy, and we have a layover in Dallas or Houston or something that has like this baller lounge.
Okay.
And we had like a 3-hour layover. So she's all excited because we're going to go to the lounge. We're going to kill the layover in the lounge. So we get in the lounge and they're checking us in, and the woman's like, we have a shower, we have food, we have drinks, we have a Peloton room. And I'm like, I'm getting a workout in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to get up on the Peloton, I'm going to get a shower, and I'm going to get back in the lounge. And by then the layover will probably be over. So I get on the Peloton and I do like a 30-minute ride, and I go to get in the shower, and I realize I don't have any other clothes. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll still hit the shower. So I hit the shower. I put my dirty, sweaty clothes back on.
Yeah.
And then I get on a 12-hour flight to Italy.
Nobody thought to get you a t-shirt out of the gift shop.
That would have mattered.
Okay.
Because when we landed in Italy, I had a staph infection on the tattoo from putting the dirty, sweaty pants on.
No.
Even though it was clean, and then sitting in them for 12 hours.
Oh, that's awful. For a wedding.
For my wedding.
For your wedding.
/ honeymoon in Italy, and I knew what it was immediately. I went to the pharmacy to get antibiotics. There was a language barrier. They gave me the wrong antibiotics. It only got worse until like day 5 of the trip after we had... I say that our wedding day was the worst day of my life because the staph infection was so bad, and I had to wear pants, and it was just brutal.
I mean, if you start at the bottom, though, you can only go up, right? So, let's nail those anniversaries, not with tattoos.
Yeah, we're going to run it back at some point. We'll have to.
When I was filming you on B-roll and prep for meal ticket, you were cutting painter's tape with a chef's knife.
Yeah.
Why is that an idiosyncrasy that's so important?
It's about things being neat, things being organized. When you open up the refrigerator and everything's there and labeled and nice colored tape, uniform colored tape, and they're all perfectly cut and not ripped and stuff. It's just, that leads into how you do other things in the kitchen.
All right, so we've talked about your first tattoo, the one with the crazy story, one you're having removed. We've talked a lot about prepping food and peeling peas and kind of wild ways to kind of look at things. Are you still the cook at home? Does your wife pick up any of the
Oh, my wife cooks a lot. Yeah. I don't cook a lot at home. It's really nice having meal ticket now because that kind of checks the box of me cooking for my wife, because before that it would be people saying, "Oh my God, you're so lucky to be married to a chef," and she'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like,
I never get to eat that food.
Popcorn, maybe. He makes me popcorn.
That's adorable. It's summertime. There's a barbecue. It's a potluck. What are you bringing?
Drink.
Okay. Fair enough.
Preferably nothing. No judgment. Just there to have a good time and turn it off and not trying to like dissect what I'm eating.
Have you found that there is just sometimes a little too much pompous attitude in restaurants and cooking and entertainment and not enough into the actual food itself? Or are you finding there's a really nice blend of like people are more appreciative of what chefs are putting out there?
Yeah, I think there is a nice blend of that, of people being like the term foodie, like that. There weren't foodies in Pittsburgh.
You guys are known for a sandwich and ketchup.
Yeah. And putting fries on a salad.
Yeah. What? Why not?
Which I haven't done with meal ticket yet, but I've been
coming soon.
Coming very soon.
All right.
Yeah, I just need to figure out how to execute the French fry.
Okay.
For an easy reheat that can still be a crispy French fry that then goes on the salad, because the salad part's easy. It's there.
Is there love for Heinz?
Oh yeah, big love for Heinz.
All right.
There's no other acceptable ketchup. Do you know the restaurant Abteca?
I don't.
Abteca is a vegan restaurant in Pittsburgh that's my favorite restaurant in the country. And on their menu, this is something that I've always admired and always wanted to steal, is that they, at the bottom of the menu, it says, everything we serve is made from scratch except for Heinz ketchup.
I think one of the most pretentious things that people do is house-made. And sometimes there is an opportunity for a ready-made thing that just tastes amazing. Yeah. So you don't have to do it. I think one of the last questions I want to ask, what does authentic food mean to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Our meal tickets tagline is made correctly. And I think that comes off as kind of like, this is the most authentic food you're going to eat. And that could mean putting kimchi in marinara sauce.
Right.
It really means whatever we want it to mean. So it's like, as long as we're following the ethos of the brand, which is trying to source the best products available or the best tasting products available, that to me is staying authentic.
It's such a solid answer, because oftentimes you'll find authentic tacos. We're in Los Angeles. There's authentic tacos on every corner, literally wherever them and their family came from. And I think if we can get those preconceived ideas of what authentic food is away from the conversation, we can move forward and be like, this is tasty. And I think when we relate that back to tattoos, sometimes people look at the style of a tattoo and be like, that's an American traditional tattoo, but it's not authentically done. You're having authentic Tabori work done, but it's the experience, it's not the application method.
Yeah, when I asked Hori Momo, who's doing the Tabori on my leg, because what he's known for is being kind of behind the scenes and not advertising. And I asked him, did you ever want to be a famous tattooer? And he said, no, I knew from the minute I started that I always wanted to have a private studio, do Tabori tattoos, and be as unknown underground as possible. And what's more authentic than that?
Your story is inspiring, it's authentic, and
Thanks, Mike.
it doesn't give it justice to call it a story because it's your life. You've taken opportunity kind of by the bullhorns and really kind of run with it and said yes to a lot of situations that would have scared people, whether it was traveling with a band, it was going to meet a friend's brother who happened to be a baseball player, and putting on a chef hat when you weren't really ready to be a chef yet. Do you think that there is a little bit of this Tabori tattoo artist in you now, in so much as, while you are forward facing thanks to social media, you're still behind the scenes cooking for people as a way of enjoyment?
Yeah, absolutely.